Hi everybody, thanks so much for joining me today. I'm going to be using my beautiful friend Aliza to do a fall look for you guys. You guys have told me before that you liked the videos that I've done on her, as well as just basically doing looks that are not always suited to my skin tone. So I wanted to do a fall look on her. She is obviously much lighter than me, as you guys have seen, so feel free to use this look to adapt it to whatever you guys see fit and something that you guys would like to wear. Also, I'm going to go ahead and warn you guys, we had a lot of technical difficulties with this video, like a lot. So I really hope it's watchable, but we literally filmed it sitting on the floor of a room in my house to get it done because all the stuff that we had figured out just was not working that day. So I really hope this video works out, and if you guys have any comments or questions, post down below. We're going to go ahead and start off with some under eye concealer. Just use something that is a few shades lighter than the normal eye area. You always want to brighten it up by going really light as opposed to the normal skin color. So I'm using something from my Graftobian Warm palette. It is an artist palette that is available to all of you guys on camerareadycosmetics.com, or you can even get single versions as well. But any concealer that you have that is a couple shades lighter would work. And I like to always get the bridge of the nose area as well because that tends to be pretty dark for all women. Then I'm going to go in with a black eyeliner in the waterline. This is Engraved by MAC. I really like that because it doesn't smudge as opposed to smolder. And you're just going to get the waterline only. Then I'm going to use Too Faced Shadow Insurance. You can use any eye primer that you want, and you're going to put that on all over the lid to prime it, so that way whatever eyeshadow you put is going to stick onto it really well. No matter what color it looks like, it's going to turn translucent when you put it on. Then I'm going to use the Too Faced Chocolate Bar, and I'm going to pick up that light brown color on the end, and we're going to sweep that all over the lid. And that is basically your base color that is going to be all over, so whatever colors you put on top are going to pop because of this base color. So I'm just using a fluffy brush, but you can use any brush that you want because there's really no method to this particular part. Now we're going to go ahead and put on a pinkish champagne color, also from the chocolate bar. It looks like I accidentally started to put it on before I showed it to you guys, but it is that light pink shade in the corner as well. And you're going to put that on just to basically give the lid some shine. It's not going to really look silverish or pinkish, it's just to give a little bit of shine. Then I'm going to go in with the lightest brown color in that palette and mix that with a little bit of a darker color as well. Both are matte, and I'm going to use that for my crease. So for her, we're going to go ahead and draw in the crease all the way towards the inner corner of the eyebrow. For an eye shape like this, that look works really, really well, and it sort of warms up that inner corner, and it just changes the shape of your eye, and I really like this sort of crease for her particular eye shape. So you're going to keep going back and forth. Obviously, you want the darkest colors in the corner on the outside. But I am going to go ahead and keep blending it in until the bridge of her nose. Then I'm going to go in with that very, very light white color that's also a matte, and I'm going to mix it with Virgin from the Naked palette, and we're going to use that as her highlight color under the brow bone. And I'm using just like a tiny brush for that, and you can keep adding as you see fit to make it brighter, but we don't want it to be super bright because the eyes are so mute that you didn't want the highlight to look really bright. Now I'm going to go ahead and pick up some more of that Virgin color, and I'm going to use that in the inner tear duct to brighten up the eye. But again, we're not going for anything super boom in your face, just sort of light and muted. Now I'm going to go in with another dark color from the chocolate bar, as well as that purple, and we're going to use this for under her lash line and the bottom eyelid. You're going to sort of blend that in with the eyeliner and just sort of pull and push and just get to all the way towards the inner corner. Now I'm going to go ahead and line her top lid, but what we're going to do is that you're going to line it as thin as you can, as close to the lash line, then we're going to go ahead and smudge it out with a brush. But the idea here is you can make it messy because we are going to smudge it out so that it becomes really, really natural looking. So I'm using an angle brush for this, and I'm just going to go back and forth on the line that we just drew. And that's going to clean up your line, so it's going to look a lot neater, and it gives it a much softer look as well, as opposed to a harsh pencil or even a liquid. So you're just going to keep pulling it back and forth until you get the desired sort of faded look. And towards the very end, you're going to pull it all the way down. Then I'm using two OCC skin tints in Y4 and R3, and I've mixed those together to create Aliza's skin color, and I'm just going to go ahead and put that on all over with the foundation brush. There's really no method to this, just put this on like you would a normal foundation. I've obviously mixed two because I'm a makeup artist and I have lots of different foundations, but if you know what color you are, then you are obviously welcome to use just one. But I really like using tinted moisturizers in the fall that way your skin doesn't look super dead because it's already a drying season anyway. Then I'm going to go ahead with Kat Vert from NARS. It is basically a multiple that I like to use as a bronzer. It's really light, so it's perfect for the look that we're going for. We're not going to do a very dark bronzer. And over here, I'm just going to go ahead and put it on top of her, like right near her hairline, all the way down from her temples, and create an angle where we can sculpt out her cheek. But this is all going to be very natural. As you guys can see, normally you would contour with something much darker, but I'm not going to. Then I'm using a stippling brush from Samantha Chapman, Real Techniques, and all I'm going to do is sort of blend all the colors together because you don't want anything to stand out. I'm trying to give her a little bit of sun so it doesn't look like, so it looks like real skin, because nobody's real skin is ever just one color. That's all about really doing. You don't want it to look super sculpted or anything like that. Now I'm going to go in and powder her face. You can use any translucent powder that you want if you'd like, but I'm using a colored powder, which is a really light color from the graftobian palette that I have that has 6 different powders in there. If you have really dry skin, then I would suggest not to do this. I'm just doing this because the fall usually is about matte skin. And even though I use a tinted moisturizer, I still want it to look a little bit more matte. This is the palette that I was talking about. Now with those 2 darker colors, I'm going to go in and add back that contour that I had added with the cream, just to sort of define it a tiny bit, but it's nothing too crazy. I'm just sort of doing this again just to make it look like she's had some sun, like she's been outside, and it's not just totally like a deep like winter sort of look. So as you can see, I'm doing it really naturally, just in the same areas that we had added that darker color to begin with. Now I'm going to go ahead and put in some more bronzer and blush. This is Park Avenue Princess by Tarte. But I'm actually using this as a blush. I love the effect it gives Elisa's skin because anybody else it's going to look like a bronzer, but on her it looks more like a glowy blush, and I really like that look. So I'm just going in from the apples of her cheeks all the way back, and her skin is dry to normal, so therefore she can carry this off. Normally people who have oily skin, don't want to wear too much shimmer. This is a mineralized skin finish from MAC, and I'm using basically the pink and the yellow to give her a highlight, but I'm not placing it in just one area. Then with Anastasia's Dip Brow Pomade in dark brown, I'm going to go ahead and sculpt out her eyebrows. So you always want the inner corner to be the lightest. So you don't want to start from there because when you first use your pencil, it is going to have a lot of color on it. So I kind of started in the middle, go all the way back down. We're not trying to change her eyebrow shape. We're just trying to make it a little bit darker for this look. So I'm following her natural shape of her eyebrows and just sort of adding color where I think she needs it. You can always go back and forth, especially if your brush doesn't have much product left. Then I'm using a MAC lipstick. It's just a basic red. I will link it down below as well because I seem to have forgotten which one it is. And with a lip brush, I'm going to go ahead and put that on. For dark colors, I prefer using a lip brush because I feel like you have a little bit more control. Because you know how dark colors are. Like if you make a mistake, it is going to stain your face, the side of your lips, that sort of thing. So I like to have a little bit more control when applying this. This looked really red in that palette, but it's actually more maroon when you actually put it on. So we will keep deepening it up. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep adding more until I get the desired level of darkness that I want. Because being a fall look, I obviously want this to be pretty dark. So here we are with how dark we have made the lips. And now you guys can go ahead and see how I put on her mascara. So basically I always use disposable wands because as a makeup artist you want to make sure that you are very sanitary. You tell the client to sort of look straight ahead and you put on the mascara in the top and bottom lashes, and this is obviously super important no matter what you're wearing in your lids or what you're not wearing. You want your lashes to make a statement. I feel like that is just the best way to open up your eyes and to make them look super awake. So that is what I've got going on for her. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you Elisa for being my amazing model. I hope you guys enjoyed this look. Feel free to comment down below, and definitely keep your eyes and ears open for giveaways because I will be doing them most likely through my other social media channels as opposed to YouTube. So make sure you guys follow me everywhere to be able to see this.